This thing on here says they can be punished this season. And somehow they don't even have the most points. So that would pretty much take them out of Champions League. Can you hear me?
Me?
Yeah, anybody, yeah.
Well, I didn't read it
Well, I don't know why you didn't.
because I was looking up other shit. Because Jack's gonna be primarily talking about it.
Well, yeah, yeah. We gotta be able to respond though. Like I know about it, so
Yeah, and I'll be okay. I got you. Trust me.
I don't know. I didn't know about that until he said that, but
If it's sports, I can keep up.
yeah, soccer's different though. They have a lot of their rules are a lot different than sports here.
Oh, yeah, but like I'm not gonna go quiet on you or anything.
Yeah. They do it a lot different. They're like it's I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's much more structured, I'll say. Yeah, how it like in our sports we just fire coaches randomly all the time and like they don't really do that. They're much more professional in everything they do.
I'm
They
just
they
gonna
make a
read
ton of
the.
money.
Are we live?
Yeah. Nobody's in here though. That's crazy. 88.
So Jack, I gotta go to YouTube to look at the comments, right? In the nosebleeds. If any of y'all are listening, this is what you need to type in for your Thursday night.
If they're listening, then they know that, I think.
We have 28 subscribers.
Yeah, I'm about to start getting some reels made, so we can post that. That's what we really need is reels. I have a guy who volunteered to do it, so
How do you see like our subscribers? I mean, I know how many we have, but how do you see like who they are? Or
uh
can you do that? You can't do that?
I think you can. You have to be you have to be logged the uh into the YouTube channel, not like your own.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm not gonna be able to see it then.
I mean, it's mostly people we know. Abigail did sit in the nosebleeds this weekend. She went to the state North Carolina basketball game and was way up there. That was such a good game. I wish I could have been there. They're terrible. Why? How is North Carolina so bad? You watch them, Zach. How? Why are they so bad?
Well, is that what we're gonna start out with?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay.
Why
Um,
are they so bad? They're actually a bad basketball team.
oh, okay. I don't think they're
Why are they s
a bad basketball team. I think that they
they're
just,
actually a bad basketball
to
team.
be fair, I think that Brady brought them a lot of things that people just don't realize, and it's the same for main core, but losing out on a stretch four like that can really impact a team, and it makes your plays differently. And I also think that because of that loss, I guess you could say, Caleb Love and well, mainly Caleb Love has been settling for a lot of shots. Um,
He always did, though.
yeah, but he was making them in the tournament last year. And I'm not putting it all on him, and I'm not putting it all on anyone specifically. I think that they need a spark, and it's going to come from the four main leaders this year. But they're going to have to figure out, okay, hey, we don't have to, we don't really, yeah, they need to, work the offense and stuff, but I think that they're just trying to do a little bit too much. And I think that they're a little bit lackadaisical on the fundamentals. RJ Davis is leading the ACC in free throws percentage, but I don't know specifically about the rest of them, but I don't know how good it really is. So um, and I also think that they need to box out a little bit better. I mean, it's awful in there. I mean, you look at I don't want to single anybody out. I really don't, but it's really bad. It's just awful. The fundamentals are lacking, and I think that a lot of that has to do with what they did last year. They were a great team, but the physicality, for me at least, is just it's awful. Um, and they settle for too many shots.
I think from what I've seen, they are too trying to use their talent too much. Like, Love and Davis are good shooters, and Baycott gets a double double all the time. Baycott fouls too much. He's lackadaisical. He is not
But he's a big guy.
focused.
You're gonna get somebody. You're
Right.
gonna get like 4 fouls a game.
I know, but he gets them so quick, so then he has to sit out, and then he can't play how he wants to because he's worried about getting that fifth foul. Um, they're running out of time though.
I think you saw in the Duke game that the player of the game for Duke was out hustling them. I didn't even know who that was until I watched. I mean, it was ridiculous. They were hyping this guy up like he was about to go to the NBA, and I just keep telling Leaky, like, dude, put a body on him. Like just put a body on him. It was absolutely ridiculous. And sorry, I had to single him out there. So, but yeah, go ahead,
Single
Austin. What were you
people
saying?
out.
I know it's
Um,
so hard to do, but he's got to put a body on somebody.
no, I'm agreeing with you. They're so like, we did it last year in the tournament, so let's just keep doing the same thing. But threes, unless you're Steph Curry, aren't going to be the way you win every single game, and they rely on it way too much. They get some referee help. I'm not going to get into that, but they shoot way more free throws than the other team they play every single time.
But their
Um,
free throw percentage is down. Caleb Love is shooting 76 for a guard. That's not that great.
I know,
Pete
but you know what I'm
Nance
saying. They
is
they get
doing
a lot of
really
foul
well.
calls. No, see, that's the thing.
Pete Nance
He's
he's shooting free throw percentage really well. He's at 80% for a forward. That's
Yeah,
pretty
but
good.
he doesn't really help like when they're playing.
He's a good player, but he's not
He's
Brady
a
Manning.
good
No.
player, but he doesn't fit on this team at all.
I think he
Because that's
settles for too many mid-range shots too. But go ahead.
Yeah, but he doesn't make them. But that's the thing. Manic could make them. You know, he I can remember a couple shots in that tournament that he made. They wouldn't have won the game if he wasn't making these shots, but they don't
No shot.
have that anymore. And Caleb Love is shooting 31% from three. RJ Davis is 32, and they both take like 12 a game.
Well, look at how many assists they're averaging. The leading assist is 3.3. For your
Yeah,
point guard, that's
they
awful.
average 12 a game
They're not
because they
sharing
don't
the
pass.
basketball. They don't pass. No, they don't know how to pass. They don't know how to cut. They're not working well together, and they're slacking on defense. I mean, Leaky Black is a great defender, and he's definitely, in my opinion, the best defender in college basketball. But even he is getting lazy in certain situations. A lot of people in the Duke game, North Carolina shot 3 free throws in that game, and I was talking to North Carolina fans about it, and they were like, look at the free throw discrepancy. The refs were on Duke's side, and I had to stop him. As a Carolina fan, usually I'd be on your side, but no. The reason that they didn't get the fouls is because they didn't. They settled so much. They settled too much. They lost that game because of that. And I don't know. That was the first year that I actually probably could actually disagree with the foul discrepancy. You're a fan. You kind of go with the flow, but this time I had to put my foot down and say, "No, that's not how that worked. They lost that game themselves. They beat themselves up." So,
That's not even the game that did it for them. Like, you know, the Duke game's obviously a big deal, but they're losing to Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh twice and Virginia Tech, and they're Wake Forest, Miami, NC State. Like
Miami
all of
is,
those are good teams.
Miami will be a sweet well, I wouldn't say will, but they'll be pretty decently high in the tournament. Pittsburgh, I believe they've got a pretty good coach this year. Yeah, they're second in the ACC. They're 13 and
Yeah, they're
4.
they're a good team. But
Th
I'm, you know,
They shouldn't lose to them twice, but Pittsburgh is on the rise, and you see flashes of them. Virginia Tech won the ACC last year. Not saying that they're a great team or anything, but you see flashes of the ACC and stuff like that, and I'm agreeing with you. They need some help, and they need to get better. But I think the ACC is going to surprise everybody, just like they always do.
yeah, it's gonna be the same. Everybody keeps on talking about how bad the ACC is, but they did the same thing last year. It's just
Yeah,
because
they did the exact same thing.
they don't see Duke number 2, UNC number 7, so they think the ACC is bad, but the ACC is not bad. There are a lot of teams, like if you look at the standings of the ACC, it's very good. It's pretty well rounded. Like there are some bad teams, like Louisville and Notre Dame and Georgia Tech have a combined 7 wins in the conference. Like that's pretty poor.
Yeah.
But over half of them have a over 500 winning percentage, and they're all good teams. Virginia's very good. They just got uh, kind of bullied around by Boston College. Funny enough.
Virginia will always be a team that can compete. They've got the best defensive coaching mind in college basketball in Tony Bennett. They will always compete. The problem is they might not score like they need to win. They did win a championship, but they also had premier players. I don't know if they have those same players, but they will always be able to compete with anybody ever.
Yeah, they're kind of polarizing though. Like they could beat anyone, but they could also kind of lose to anybody too. Um, I think they'll go far in the tournament. As I've seen a couple of their games, they're good. They're ranked 6th in the country for a reason,
If
but they've
somebody
got
gets
good
hot though,
shooters.
if somebody gets hot, it might not go over well for them. I'm not they're not in my final four.
Well, no, absolutely not. But the thing is with them, they're ranked high because they're winning. They play the same basketball North Carolina does, but they have 4 guys shooting over 38% from 3.
Yes, definitely.
And so, against Boston College when they aren't making those, they're not going to win. But if it's the same thing as North Carolina last year, if they get hot in the tournament and they win those first couple games, you never know. But no, as of right now, I don't think they're like a fantastic basketball team. But the ACC as a whole is good. I think if the season ended right now, there would be 6 or 7 tournament teams, which is pretty good.
If Carolina turns it around, I could see them contending for the ACC championship, but right now my front runner for the ACC is Miami. I think
Yeah,
that
Miami's good.
with those athletic guards and their ability to just play good basketball, they're 15-0 at home on a 7-game winning streak. They're in the driver's seat for the ACC, and it's not just because they're at the top. It's just because of just their tenacity and their ability to win ball games.
There are a lot of good teams though. State's good, Pittsburgh's good, Clemson's good, sorta. Wake can beat anybody on any game. Syracuse, as long as Boeheim's the coach, they're going to be a competitive game.
The problem with the zone, I don't know. I don't know. I just, I
Well,
don't know.
yeah, that's the thing. If you're playing a zone and you're playing Virginia, who gets hot, you're going to lose by 30.
Well, I think that it's just it's not simple to beat. Obviously, if it's simple to beat, a lot of teams could do it. But I think that um, it's different, obviously. But I also think that you know, growing up watching Syracuse basketball is different than what you see now. And I'm not just talking about talent wise. I'm talking about leadership wise.
No, talent wise, it is a little bit different.
Yeah, but I'm also comparing like I'm not comparing like Carmelo Anthony. I'm comparing like Tyler Eunice. I guess you have Fab Mello. Um, got some. Yeah, okay. The talent's not as much.
Buddy, I liked Buddy, and God, what's that guy on their name?
Johnny Flynn. Johnny Flynn was a good leader, but he was late 2000s,
It's
and
Gerard. I really like their point guard. He's really good.
is that the guy that fouled out in the Carolina game or no?
I couldn't tell you that much, but Gerard, I remember
He
seeing
went
him in person last year, and
crazy.
he is really good.
Let's
I
watch
mean,
that.
he's averaging 17 points a game this year. He's good, but yeah, they don't have somebody that can pull him up.
No, they lost to Carolina this year. I watched a little bit of that game. It's actually a different guy than what we're talking about. Two different guys. Um, but Gerard did play really well in that game. He went 4 for 9 from deep, 7 for 13 from the field goal. Um, but I'm just saying, I don't know. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than what I'm seeing. Um, because Syracuse, when they first got to the ACC, like they were competing with like Duke. It was exciting, it was really exciting. I'm not saying that Syracuse team, you saw in 2017, I think they were 11th seed, and they ended up really far in the tournament. They do have good coaching, like you're talking about, but I see a little bit. It's a little bit difficult for me to see that zone and see the talent here going to another Final Four or what we're used to seeing with Syracuse basketball.
No, they're definitely not going to do that. Who do you think's going to make the Final Four?
Well, that's what I was gonna kind of get into a little bit. Um, if you want me to make my predictions now, I'm more than happy to. Um,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't know fully set in stone who's making the tournament, but we have a pretty good idea.
we definitely have a pretty good idea, and obviously for viewers out there watching this, you know, to me, and I've proven this time and time again that seeds in the tournament are irrelevant. And the last time that 4 seeds made the Final Four, Kevin Love was at UCLA, Derrick Rose was at Memphis, Tyler Hansbrough was at UNC, and Mario Chalmers was at Kansas. That was a long time ago. It was 2008, and it was one of the worst years in college basketball. But I'm just saying that seeds don't matter. So when I make these predictions, they're very high teams, and when you get to the tournament, I doubt that 4 seeds are going to make it. And I just it's so up and down with everything, and that upsets happen, and that's the beauty of it. So when we're making these predictions, bear with me a little bit. So
I've got it pulled up,
I
and
do too as well. I do too as well. Um, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I was just gonna say, I think right now it's pretty set in stone unless something happens. The top four seeds are Purdue, Kansas, Houston, and Alabama. I think really, no matter what, those are the top four seeds. Now, Alabama did just get, um, they had a rough loss, and I'm not gonna get into the situation they have with their best player who just came back. Um, I've seen some funny TikToks about it though today. I can promise you that.
Are you
But
talking
with
about?
him, they
Are you talking about a rough
Miller
loss? Yeah,
to
I know
Tennessee.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about
Yeah,
Tennessee, or you talking about Brandon Miller?
the rough loss was to Tennessee. You know
I watched the
they've
game. Yeah.
they've got their shot maker back in Brandon Miller. So those of you who understand will probably find a little bit of humor in that. But they're good, and he's really good too. I've seen him projected to go to the Hornets a lot. Are you
Well,
thinking
so
about it, or are you just waiting?
are you wanting me to talk about my predictions for
Yeah, yeah, go
the
for it.
one
Yeah.
seeds? Why don't we just do that? Well,
No,
no,
just
no, the
do
one seeds are too easy. Too easy for
no,
that.
just do
Let's
who you
do
think's gonna make the
predictions.
Final Four.
Final four. All right, Kansas will not make the Final Four. I'm calling that right now.
That Grady Dick guy is pretty good.
Wilson's their best player, but I
Yeah,
think
I
that
know, but
comes down to it, he's going to shoot a lot, and if he's on, he's on. But like I'm saying, it's the tournament, and upsets do happen. I see Kansas not making the Final Four. Great team, a lot of talent. You've arguably got the best player. He's not, in my opinion, but you've arguably got the Wooden Award. Um, but I don't see them going very far. That's my first take. Huge
it's hard to do it
because
2 years in a row too.
oh, definitely, definitely that definitely has gone into it. But I don't see Kansas in my Final Four. Okay, a little bias here, but with the re-signing of Nate Oates, and how well they're playing basketball right now, Alabama is in my Final Four. That's my one. That's one team in the Final Four.
Okay.
Okay. The second team in my Final Four is Purdue. Purdue is arguably the best basketball team in the country. Um, a lot of people didn't really have them very high to start. I think they were ranked like 24th to start or something like that. But with how Zach Edey's playing right now, and the freshmen are like playing pretty well. Sorry, the freshmen are playing pretty well. I think that they're going to be a problem in the tournament no matter what happens. Can they keep this up? Um, yes and no. I think that if you can contain Zach Edey, you'll have a way better chance, but it's very hard to contain Zach Edey. Jay Billis was talking about it the other day, and I'm not the biggest Jay Billis fan, but he had a lot of good points that I just I couldn't disagree with. I don't know why. Just he might, me and him, we just disagree on certain things. Um, you know, when you look at predictions, you do have to kind of go by conference. Like you see a lot in the top 25, a lot of Big East teams. The Big East is coming out firing this year, and not a lot of people are actually talking about them. Austin is
I
primarily going to be covering the Big
I
East.
love the Big East.
Yeah, he is going to primarily be covering the Big East, but I do kind of want to be talking about it a little bit because you've got Marquette obviously is the highest seed right now.
But
Um,
they're not the best team.
I no, I could argue that. You could argue that. I think that it's a really tough call. Who do you think is the best team right
Creighton.
now in the Big East? Really,
Creighton
Creighton.
had
I
a
was not going to say that.
really, really tough stretch for a little bit. They started off top 5, I think. Then they lost like 6 in a row. They had a lot going on, but they've gotten it back, and they're top 20 offense and defense KenPom ratings. They're good. They're really good. I like Creighton a lot.
I was going to say like UConn or maybe even Providence. I think Providence played a good game against Kansas last year. I know it's a little bit
Providence
different
is
this
always
year.
good.
Yeah, they really are. They're a team that just kind of sticks in, but I think UConn's um, a very hard fought team. I really do.
They are good. The thing with them though is I like how Creighton's getting better as the season's going on and UConn's getting worse. Because remember, UConn skyrocketed up their rankings and then they just really fell off, and nobody's really talked about them since. Which can be a good thing going into the tournament. You're not really being talked about, but people know you're good. That
But you
happens every
do,
year.
you're right. You do need to be hot and you do um, need to be on point. I think that the hottest team might not be the best team or, but it definitely helps, obviously. And UConn actually demolished Alabama at the beginning of the year. That was their first loss. I remember 82-67. I watched a little bit of that game. They played well. I don't think that Alabama shot the ball all that great, but you talk about that skyrocket to the top. A lot of it has to do with that. You beat a top three team in the country, you're going to skyrocket. So
Yeah, I mean, they got there, but they didn't stick there. That's all I'm saying. I know they're good. They usually are, but yeah, I mean they've got a lot of good teams. Like Xavier's good. Um,
Xavier is good. I haven't watched them as much as you probably have, but Big East will surprise me. I'm not huge on the Big East, and I'm actually I don't think Georgetown is doing as well as I thought they were gonna do.
they're terrible.
Yeah. But I don't know. Sometimes we get it wrong.
Creighton's played 11 ranked teams this year. It's a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot. Even though it changes so much, you still, these people like they have a general idea. I'm not fully involved in the rankings, and I'm not fully convinced, week by week, but it serves its purpose, I guess you say. It kind of goes back to my point about the NCAA tournament. Like seeds are almost irrelevant. You know what I mean? Seeds are almost irrelevant in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the 2 seed and you get to play a 15 seed, like that's an automatic qualifier from a weaker conference. Yeah, that helps. But
I've seen crazier
later,
things happen.
well, yeah, obviously. That's why it's so fun because you never know what's going to happen. But you want to be the highest seed possible.
Oh, 100%. I am not arguing that. I'm definitely not arguing that.
Well, you still haven't told me who's making the Final Four other than Alabama and Purdue.
Okay. Well, we did transition a little bit into the Big East. I don't have a Big East team in my Final Four, but UCLA has been at the top for a while, and I think that I know Nick Carolina knocked them out last year. They had a little bit of a storyline the year before. They're tough to bet on. They're tough to bet on for some reason. For me, they're tough to bet on. Um, if I'm gonna have to pick another one, it's gonna be Houston. Um, they're
Houston's
obviously
good.
they're obviously ranked number one right now. They have two losses, one of them being to Alabama. So they're a good team. They've been there before. I think they knocked off Arizona last year in the tournament. Tough loss. I think I had Arizona winning it all. They were so athletic last year, but I think that Houston will be my third team, and for my fourth team, I'm gonna leave it up. I don't. I'm looking. I don't have bracketology pulled up, and it's obviously going to change. But I think that one's going to be kind of a shocker. Like I said, it hasn't been since 2008. All one seeds. You know, instead of Final Four, maybe we should just say who the four best teams are that could go the farthest if you had to place a bet, and those three are definitely up there.
Well,
I
you're
think.
picking all the 1 seeds, man. You're contradicting everything you're saying.
Well, I also think that if Purdue, I don't know. Big Ten is good. I'm not saying that they're not a 1 seed or they shouldn't be a 1 seed, but I also think that if they maybe not, win the Big Ten, they possibly could be pushed to a 2 seed if UCLA. I know Kansas will be a 1 seed. I think Houston will be, even though, slightly weaker conference than some of the others, but I still think they're a 1 seed. I think UCLA could sneak in there. Virginia possibly. I don't think they're better than Purdue, but they could still be a 1 seed. So you never really know. Um,
Possibly.
I'm taking Houston, Alabama, and Purdue as my top 3 teams right now. And as far as teams, they're not. I know that they're not making the Final Four, but they're obviously playing top 4 basketball. Kansas, but I just like I said, I think that Wilson can go cold, and I think that they play good basketball, but the team gets hot against them. I think that they've got a couple holes that they need fixing. So
Just tell me who
and
your fourth team is. You're
um
making this way harder than it has to be.
well, shoot me in the foot. It's not a top 25 team though. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that it's going to be. Let me look at bracketology then. That'll probably help me with the fourth team, I guess.
Well, then do you want me to go while you're looking?
Yeah, actually, I do want you to go. Um,
Houston,
okay, that's a good pick.
St. Mary's.
Oh, no.
St. Mary's is really good. Trust me.
Okay.
They've been beating Gonzaga this year, and I don't think Gonzaga is just good, nearly as
I
good as they
think,
have been lately.
oh, no. No. I don't know
Yeah,
what
but
they're doing.
St. Mary's is really good. Houston, St. Mary's, Creighton.
Creighton. Houston St. Mary's Creighton.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going all small schools, and then I'll throw in. I'm gonna go Kentucky. Kentucky's starting to play well.
Wow. Okay. An 8 seed. So they're going to knock off Purdue, according to this bracketology, and Pittsburgh. They got to beat Pittsburgh too. Now, they're not
I don't.
great,
I don't care about
but they
Pittsburgh.
have beaten UNC twice. I mean, that's very bold.
Everybody's beat UNC. What do you
What is
mean?
everybody saying in the comments? Now, UNC has lost some tough battles, and they have lost some good teams. Trust me. But Kentucky, that is bold. I don't think they
Kentucky's
have the
they
best. No, they don't have the best player in college basketball. It's not even close. I think the Oscar Tshiebwe is a rebound machine, but when you compare him to Drew Timmy, it is almost. It's not
dude. I don't want
unbearable.
to hear about
But
Drew
Drew
Timmy.
Timmy is the best player in college basketball, hands down. I don't know what's going on over there. How do you not win ball games with Drew Timmy? If I'm a college basketball coach and I don't recruit Drew Timmy, I shouldn't be in that program. I mean, Drew Timmy has the best post game in college basketball, and it's just fun to watch. I'm sorry.
Then why don't they win games? If you have the best player, usually the team with the best player wins in basketball. If they have the best player, then why aren't they winning?
Well, shoot, the best player last year lost to St. Peter's. I think Sheboy won the Wooden Award. And
Yeah,
I
but
didn't think that he was the
the
best player, but
college
he won the
basketball is
Wooden Award.
different in the best player, right? Because it's always some senior that's been there for a while, but the best player is the guy who's going to go number one of the draft. That's going to really be that playmaker. And now, obviously, this year it's different. The best player in the draft doesn't play college basketball, but um,
Well, I don't think Drew Timmy is an NBA basketball player, but right now he's the
no,
best
he's not.
player
But
in the college basketball. That's why he stayed another year. I mean, ride
because
it
he's
out,
not going to
young
play in the
man.
NBA.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but ride it out,
he's
young
not
man.
a
I mean,
young man anymore. He's probably
yeah.
27 years old.
I'm just
He's
saying,
been
like,
around since you've ever heard of Gonzaga.
no, no, he is good, dude. I mean, he is just he's sound, he's fundamental. I'd love to have him over here in Carolina. I would. I think that we'd be stellar.
All right.
We
Um,
had to make that point. I mean, I had to talk about Drew Timmy. You bring up college basketball, you got to talk about Drew Timmy.
do you? because they
You
don't
have
talk
to.
about him on ESPN much.
Um, did Austin oh, okay. Okay.
I thought you
I'm
said, wait, no, you still haven't said. Man, you really dragged this out.
okay. Yeah. I'll put I'll put Texas only because of their coach, and we're dragging this out.
What do you mean because their coach? Didn't their coach get fired?
No, they still have that good coach from VCU. I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm pretty sure he beat the hell out of his wife or something earlier in the year and got fired.
No way. We're still talking about the same dude.
Chris Beard, yeah, he's gone.
No way. Are you serious?
Yes, he got fired earlier
I'm
this
not
year.
talking about him. Never mind. I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about him.
I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, that guy got fired. He's gone.
All right. Well, I got Rush. That one doesn't count. Go ahead, Jack. Oh, he's at Marquette. Sorry, he's at Marquette. Sorry. Shaka Smart. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry. Sorry.
Arizona's good. They're always good. Yeah, that's big. That's something, you know, you're most of the teams you play in the tournament are ranked teams or have been ranked at one point. So if you do well against ranked teams, that probably bodes well for you. Um, yeah, I didn't know they were 5-0 against ranked teams. That's pretty good. I can't think of Indiana's pretty good too. They're kind of hit or miss, but they beat Creighton. Yeah, and San Diego State. One, two, three. Um, yeah, wow, they are good. They just have like I guess the reason they fell in the rankings is because they all of their losses were just super weird. Like you lose by almost 20 to Oregon, and then you lose by 15 to Utah and 13 to Washington State and 9 to Stanford. What are they ranked now? Let me see. They're 7. So I mean, they're still but yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, I guess it does say a lot if you step up against good teams. That's why they're ranked 7th, but um did Arizona make a Final Four in the last couple years? I feel like they did.
I'm
Um
back.
no, they've just made the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 a lot lately. Like a lot in the past 10 years. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, 7 times. Yeah, that's a lot. But they haven't won since 97. They're always good though. Yeah, that they do have a good coach. Yeah, I've seen him before. Oh, yeah, he was Gonzaga's assistant coach. Yeah, that's right. No, he's the old coach. I think he got in trouble. Remember with that big FBI probe that a lot of teams got in trouble for? I think he was fired. Yeah. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of though. He got fired when a lot of teams had to fire their coach. Yeah. Okay, well, Zach, just give me a fourth team. You can still say Texas if you want to.
No,
Texas
I'm
is really
not. I'm
good.
saying Marquette. I'm saying Marquette now
Marquette.
that I
Okay.
know the right coaching. Sorry, it was definitely Marquette.
It
I
was
don't know what
always
I was
Marquette.
thinking. Yes, sir.
Is that where your audio is coming from now? Did you just change it?
Yes.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, so I'm looking at Marquette now. They've beat one, two, three. Hold on. They beat Baylor by 26. One, two, three, four, five, six. So they have six ranked wins. That's pretty good.
All right. Yeah, he was at Texas before, and I just kind of missed that.
Let me see why the Texas guy got fired. I can't
I'm
remember.
not talking about that guy. I'm talking about,
Well,
yeah,
no,
it
I'm just
wasn't very
curious now.
long that Marquette switched. It wasn't that long. Wow. Okay. So I wasn't that far off. I forgot that he went to Marquette. And it's not just because of the coach. They're playing really good basketball in the Big East. And obviously they were, oh no, I think North Carolina knocked them out last year. That was a really good game. But they've got a good program and I think that they're going to go pretty far. A good coach goes a long way too, as well. But that was kind of my non one seed situation because I don't fully know bracketology yet.
Yeah, well, and the seeds change a lot because a random team can go on and win their conference tournament that they automatically get in, and it kicks out a team that you thought was going to make it. So, um,
They almost
thoughts on
beat Purdue
Brandon
this
Miller?
year.
Who? Marquette?
Yeah,
Yeah, they only lost by 5. I saw that. And hanging with Edie, who's 7'4", right?
he's tall. I don't know exactly what he
He's
is,
big.
but
Yeah, I watched their game against Davidson. And, Davidson doesn't have anybody close to 7'4", and they couldn't do anything.
all
Obviously,
their
Davidson
losses are
is not a
good.
tournament team, but yeah, they haven't lost to a bad team. Marquette's good. I just don't know if they have that firepower. Like for me, I'm thinking the team with the best firepower is gonna make the jump. They're gonna make that run.
Like Kentucky.
Yeah, like Kentucky's still got 5 stars everywhere. If they start figuring out how to play together, which it seems like they have, that's always their issue. They have a bunch of guys who are going to be top 10 picks. But they don't want to share the ball with each other. But if they could learn to do that, then I mean, if they did it every year, they'd probably win every year because they always have the best players, most talented. Um, yeah, Zach, what are your thoughts on Brandon Miller? Harrison asked.
Harrison.
Harrison Rowland.
I'm sorry, I have to go and look at this. What are your thoughts on Brandon Miller? All right, he did say it. Okay, sorry, you have to just backtrace and make sure that nobody said like Elmer or some crap. Just haters, man. What are you
Oh,
gonna
I'm
do with
I'm
them?
sure it's coming now.
Oh, why is that?
Well, you just got it in everybody's
I
head.
invited
They're
it.
they're
I
finally
invited
they were
it.
finally catching on to you. And now it's just going to be back to where we were.
Well, obviously, if I'm gonna start with Brandon Miller, I'm gonna start with the fact that um, he's athletic.
I
And
don't think that's what he's asking.
I know, but I'm not talking about that. dude. It's
Yeah, I don't know if
immature.
that's our place to talk about.
Yeah, that's not really our play. All right. Yeah. What the?
Hey, best shot maker in college basketball is back on the court. So
Jesus Christ.
that's a weird thing though. Like he's not in trouble because he didn't really do anything wrong. So um, I think that's why people are making jokes about it because he didn't actually
He didn't
do
play
anything.
as
So
good in Tennessee, but I also felt like the reason that they didn't do as well in the Tennessee game is because they forced a lot of shots, and I feel like they waited for the shot clock to go down. But Brandon Miller is a walking highlight. He's got great outside ability, and he's a huge reason why the Tide puts up points. Um, he had a
would
great
you like him on the
game.
Hornets?
No, I wouldn't,
Why? It's pretty
because
good.
yeah, but that has nothing. I wouldn't say it has nothing, but it's hard for me to put a guy. He had a great. I knew he had a. I saw that he had a great game against South Carolina. 41, over
Yeah.
50% from the field. Went to the line. Um, just a terrific player. Um,
Then why wouldn't you want him on the Hornets? Because the Hornets are terrible.
because if we're gonna start with the Hornets, then we have to hire a new general manager. Um, I've advocated for the position, but they just don't know what they're doing.
Well, what would you do? I mean, if you want the position,
What would I
you gotta have
do?
a plan ready. Yeah.
I would stop drafting, the Adam
Terrible
Morrisons. The
players.
yeah, I would stop. That's easy for me to say. I get that, but I also think that we got screwed that one year with the second pick instead of the first pick. Anthony Davis compared to Michael Kidd Gilchrist is a big deal, but I also think that
Dude, Michael Kidd Gilchrist defense is so good though.
he is. Yeah, in college it was absolutely tremendous. I mean, the
Yeah,
reason that Kentucky team was so good was because I don't really know specifically if he was the best that year. It was
he wasn't.
11
He's
years
never
ago.
been the best. He just became the second pick somehow.
No, he was very athletic and he could get to the rim and he played really good defense. Yes, I watched every single one of their title run games that year. I mean, he wasn't going to give you like 20, 25 or anything, but I
Yeah,
don't
but the
even think
second
Anthony
pick, that's what
Davis.
you do.
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, okay,
Listen,
for the
listen. If
Hornets, yeah, the
you're
Hornets did need somebody like that. I'll give you that.
the
They
Bobcats went 7-59, and they're like, let's get some defense in there, boys.
they wanted athleticism. They wanted a spark. I'm not
That's
arguing that it
not
was a
it
good
though.
pick. They had the pick. It was right underneath him. It was Bradley Beal.
Yeah, that's a spark.
Yeah. But I'd also stop with the whole reaching. Again with the reaching crap. You're paying Terry Rozier $20 million. That is ridiculous. I know that it's hard to get people to come to Charlotte, but that is just awful. I mean, that guy shoots more shots, and he's a chucker. I mean, it is just awful, But who else is going to shoot the ball? You know, y-
LaMelo Ball.
yeah, but Lamelo is not the type of guy who's going to sit there. I mean, yeah, he gives you great games. He is a tremendous player, probably one of the best players we've drafted in a long time. But you are not going to win
Blows
a
everybody out
champion.
of the water.
You're not going to win a championship with Lamelo Ball being your best player on the team. I'm sorry, you're just not. And
Well,
that's the whole goal. We're trying to win a championship.
I'll say two things. He has nobody to help him that can elevate his game, right? So he could be an even better
Yeah,
player, but when you have good players around you, it makes you better. So I think he could be the
100%.
best player on a championship team. Um, on a very well-rounded team. Like he's not a
Okay,
Kevin Durant
yeah.
or
Okay,
Giannis,
yeah.
but on a team like uh like the Nuggets, right? Jokic, obviously the best player, but
Yeah.
LaMelo could be your offensive guy, that guy that gets you points. And also, uh, shoot, what was I gonna say?
That's what I
He
mean,
could be the
though.
best player.
I don't think he could. Not
Um,
on a championship team. I
well,
do agree with you what you're saying though. You are right. Yeah, I do agree with what you're saying.
on offense because he can run the offense.
Correct, but he also the reason Miles Bridges is about to make the money that he makes is because he's, before the whole, whatever
Yeah.
the
Why isn't
I
he
mean,
getting paid?
because uh anyway, but he's athletic, he slashes to the basket. Um and he kind of fits into LaMelo. I think that if you put him on a different team, he might not have developed into the player that he is today. I think he's been a tremendous talent, but he plays well with LaMelo. Is that my point? My point, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because Lamelo makes everybody better
Yeah,
because
that's
he's such
true.
a good floor general.
Yeah, that is true. That is 100% true. He needs to work on playing defense, but one thing at a time.
I mean, the thing is, whether he plays good defense or not, they're still not going to win a game. So,
It's if they quit reaching for everything that they do.
yeah, okay. So, what they do is they see like, man, Frank Kaminsky made some so like 3 nice shots in the tournament this year. Let's take him.
He
But
won the
that's not
Wooden
gonna
Award that year.
dude, I don't care. That's like Drew Timmy. It's like, let's take Drew Timmy at number 9.
I'd rather
You
have Drew
take
Timmy than Frank Kaminsky.
okay, well, you're kinda making my point for me. You wouldn't take either of them with the 9th pick unless you're the Hornets, because they just wanna be mediocre. And then they finally took LaMelo Ball so they can have that big exciting player, and then they follow it up with, James Bouknight, who I don't even think plays. And they also took Kai Jones. And who's the center from Duke they took too?
Mark
Uh,
Williams, he's awful.
yeah,
He's not even a
right.
center.
So that's what I'm saying. They just take players because, they played good, but they don't take them because they are good.
He didn't
College
even
game's a
play all
lot
that
different.
good. He didn't even
No,
play all that good last year. It was awful.
yeah, I hate the Hornets. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's move on.
Well,
Let's
that's
go
why
on
I'm
to this.
not taking Miller. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay, no, I want to ask that really quick. Why wouldn't you take Miller? Because I feel like he is good.
He is good. He is good. I'm not saying that he's not, but I also think that if you're the Hornets, I don't know, dude. He actually probably you might be right. Maybe. He's not gonna be what we need though exactly. Like if you're the Hornets, you're looking to do whatever you can to make sure LaMelo Ball stays exactly where he is. That's one thing. The second thing is you have to, in order to do that, you have to have somebody on the same level as him to pair. It's going to be the dynamic duo, and then you put pieces around that help them get better. You stack your bench. In today's NBA, a bench player can make what $15 million, almost 20. Like Duncan Robinson has a crazy contract, hardly,
That guy sucks.
yeah, hardly worth it. But I'm just saying you kind of got to tank for, you got to tank for a certain player, and I'm not saying that Brendan Miller can't be that guy, but Nate Oates has a great scheme and you've got to make sure with this pick. Like this is it. You know what I mean? Like it's win or lose for this because if you don't get that player that can pair with LaMelo, he's gone. He is primarily going
I
to
think
leave.
he's probably gone either way.
No, not if you get somebody who can whatchamacallit, because if you do that, if you have another
Good
LaMelo type
point.
player, maybe a little bit bigger, you draft well, in maybe 1 to 2 years he becomes a top 15, top 10 player. You're also going to have to bring in you're going to be able to bring in other people with the money. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like the whole reaching thing. This crap where you have to pay Gordon Hayward to sit on the bench is ridiculous. And Rozier, God, he's a chucker. Jesus.
I hate Rozier. I hated it when we signed him.
We
I didn't like
traded with
Hayward
sign
either.
and trade, sign and trade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think we should just trade for like Giannis or something.
That'd be ideal. I don't know if we
Yeah.
could. We'd have
Like
to.
if we packaged Hayward Rozier and Kai Jones for Giannis and Drew Holiday, I think we'd start making some noise.
I think they'd laugh at us.
Right, yeah, because then Pat Connaughton can play the two with LaMelo at the one. Giannis can play power forward. We can sign Miles Bridges because he's a good guy in his heart, and then Mark Williams can play center.
Mark Williams doesn't deserve to even be named at center. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, enough Hornets talk. Nobody cares about the Hornets.
Everybody cares about the Hornets.
You want to know what the Hornets record is?
It's awful.
17-43. They've won 2 in a row, and they've still only won 3 of the last 10.
It's awful. It's awful.
uh,
But if you tank, you can get that player. You just have to don't, mess it up. And I'm not saying Brandon Miller would mess it up, but we're hopefully going to have a top 3 pick.
they do have a good home record though of 9-18, so at least they're keeping the fans happy.
I think it's like $5 to go to a Hornets game nowadays. It
I
is
mean,
just
you could
awful.
probably just walk in.
I don't even know. LaMelo plays half the games. Hayward doesn't play. Uh, Plumlee started until he got traded. You draft a guy, and then Mason Plumlee's starting over him, who shoots
Yeah, see,
left-handed.
that's the thing. Like, they do such weird things. They're terrible, but then they sign all these decent players, so they go 35-47. So then they get like the ninth pick because they just refuse to do what the Sixers did,
But
and nobody wanted to play
yeah,
for the
no, go
the
ahead. Sorry.
Sixers. What was their thing? Trust the process. They finally made it work because
Yeah,
once
that's
you
the
have
thing.
all
They
these number one picks, then you can do something with it.
they still got a little bit lucky though.
Yeah, well, Embiid is incredible. Yeah, but
Yeah, but for a while, people weren't thinking that he was even gonna play. I think he sat out for at least a year. I mean,
I
the
mean,
guy
he still
had
hardly plays.
he plays more than a lot of these guys. And, when you looked at him in college, you thought that he was a high risk. I mean, he was a high risk. Kansas didn't make a splurge that year, and they had the most talent in college basketball. They had Andrew Wiggins and Joel Embiid on the same team. Um, I just, I'm not advocating for tanking because I'm not saying it doesn't work. But the Sixers definitely haven't won a championship, and they won't this year. They won't be anywhere near winning a championship this year.
Oh. Well, look at the Kings, for example, right? If you're taking markets, would you rather play in Charlotte or Sacramento?
I don't know. Some of these guys are weird. Some of these guys are weird. They would have to contemplate that. That's
Which to
ridiculous.
me is absurd. Yeah.
Awful.
So, you know who the fifth string point guard on the Kings is right now?
The fifth string point guard.
Yeah. Both
I
of you are gonna
actually,
think this is funny.
I actually want to take a guess.
Take a guess.
Um,
Don't look at anything. I just want you to guess.
I'm not gonna look at. I'm definitely not gonna look. Can you give me a hint? Give me a hint.
It's funny.
Give me a better hint than that, dude.
It's funny to think about as a Hornets fan. I'll say that.
Um, oh, gosh. Hang on, I can actually get this. I
Okay, well,
actually
he's also this. He's the backup shooting guard.
All right, give me another hint. One more. This is the last one.
Funny if you're a Hornets fan. Backup shooting guard. Um, big March Madness player.
Trey Burke.
Who
Well,
did you say?
It's not right. It was just a big guess. It was Trey Burke.
Oh, no. Why would that be funny as a Hornets fan?
I know.
Jack,
I said, "R-
dude,
what do you mean?
stop.
Just think. Oh, okay. That's probably a good hint.
Oh, did you see who it was?
Oh, yeah. That's not. What do you mean? That's not funny as a Hornets player. Nah, I would have known that if you hadn't. What? No, I would have known if you were talking about Malik Monk.
That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would have known that. I had to look it up because I didn't get it. I mean, I guess Trey Burke. I thought you were gonna say something like Raymond Felton came out of retirement. You think of fifth
No.
string quarterback or
No, so
point guard.
that he was supposed to be the guy who came in and like started scoring points for the Hornets, and he doesn't even start on the Kings.
Yeah, but guess what? I mean, I'm taking Malik Monk. You want to know why Malik Monk didn't make it in Charlotte? Because they didn't know what they. I wouldn't say they didn't know what they were doing with him, but the guy's averaging 13.4 off the bench. He signed a one, like I think he signed a vet min last year with LA. Arguably, probably the best decision he ever made. Um, Charlotte,
Yeah,
not
now he
saying that
gets to
this
play for
guy
the
was
Kings.
gonna, the Kings are fifth seed, I think, in the West. I
Dude,
think
they are
that
getting swept by whoever they play, please.
I no, they're not. They've got Fox, they've got Sabonis. They're a very good young team. I'm telling
Harrison
you.
Barnes.
Yes, I thought that maybe he was a possibility, but he didn't play
Who
for the
is
Hornets.
who is Keegan Murray?
I've heard the name, but
I actually haven't.
you haven't? Oh, I don't know
No.
everything about the guy or anything. Why did you bring him
He
up?
he was the fourth pick last year from Iowa because he's their starting small forward.
Oh, well, I guess he's got to be pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was the
clearly.
fourth pick. I haven't heard a lot about him. I guess, yeah, I mean, it's Sacramento. You don't hear a lot about them, but Malik Monk was not developed properly in the sense that he's not in college anymore. He's not gonna give you 20 a game, but he is a good six man, and he should be up for the award this year.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. But
He should be up for it.
I think Clarkson is the Jazz sixth man, and he averages like 22 a game. So
Well, Barnes is a good player.
actually, I think I know who the sixth man is gonna be.
Who do you think it's gonna be?
I hold on, I can't think of his name right now. Oh yeah, Dennis Smith Jr.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not serious. I'm just making fun of the
Oh,
Hornets more. Okay, let's move on. Jack,
Malcolm
lead your
Brogdon.
topic. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Jack's got some big news for us that is, well, I mean, like, big news, maybe, but not official yet. Could be massive. Yeah, me too.
Jack, you're muted. Jack, you're muted. Your audience is muted, or they can't hear you.
What are you
I
talking
just
about?
Jack, they can't hear Jack.
I can hear him just fine.
I know, but I just got a couple texts saying that they can't hear Jack.
Um, as did I actually. Yeah, no sound is coming out whenever Jack talks. That's weird. Um, because I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, me
So
too.
yeah, I don't know.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what he gets when he mutes me on purpose. You see, he played that trick on me last week where he just got tired of me talking and winning arguments that he decided to mute me. And now this is what we
Oh well, how about it? I
you're
like it.
gonna don't do that because then you're gonna get double karma. Don't do that. It's pronounced karma.
Uh, well, then I'll relay what you're saying. I don't know why that's okay. So Jack is talking to us about um, Manchester City in the British Premier League. Um, best soccer players in the world play for them. Their lineup is stacked. I don't know how they're not the. Uh, okay, yeah, sorry. Other than Obama, they have the best players. No, don't even say arguably. He is the best striker on the planet. Um, yeah, Mbappe. Oh, okay. If we're talking about just the Premier League, Holland clears, but Mbappe is pretty crazy too. Uh, so um, I can anybody give me an update? Can you hear Jack now, or should I keep going? Also,
Oh.
yeah, I don't know why nobody mentioned that until just now. I'd like to give a shout out to Jake Snellgrove. Actually, thanks for listening,
Yeah,
Jake.
yeah, thanks, Jake.
Only Jake though. Okay, so nobody can hear Jack. He's telling us about Man City, and he's telling us that he's a big Man City fan. He loves Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne, and they're literally their entire team. I know most of you don't know who is on their team, but they're crazy, and Jack's a huge fan. Um, but they're getting into trouble because they have all these good players, but they kind of not paying them the right way. Yeah, well, like in a salary cap situation.
bef-
Okay. So that's kind of like the luxury tax in baseball. Yeah. Okay. Um so they are spending a lot more than they're making. And again, I'm relaying this cuz I'm still not sure if anybody can hear him. Nobody's saying anything. They're just texting me about wanting a shout out on the show. So, um they spent more than they're making, which is a big deal there. And as I was saying at the beginning, I don't know how many of you were listening, but they do things a lot different there. Where here it's the Mets, right? They overspend what they're making, so they have to pay a big luxury tax, and that could be what ends up happening to them. But they could also lose points in the table, which if you finish in the top four, Jack is really upset because he's a big fan. If you finish in the top four of Premier League, you go to Champions League. So their top two, if they got a big point deduction, then that would take them out of that. And it also says they could have some of their registered players canceled, not like a cancel culture way like we do here, but like they can't play for them anymore. Um, make them pay and also replay games. I saw something that said they might forfeit their 3 titles they've had because it's been going on 9 years, right? Yeah, and they've won 3 Premier League championships since in the last 9 years that this is about. Um, so I don't think I saw something I looked up another thing and it said they probably aren't gonna like revoke their titles, but if they lose their points, then first of all, that's a huge chunk of their revenue they're not getting anymore because they're always Champions League. So then they're in even tougher situation keeping all these players they have. It's just like football. You can't pay like we were talking about last week. You can't pay Burrow, Higgins, Chase, mixing all this money and then not have anybody else. So it's the same thing. They've got to decide who they want to play, and the less money they make, the less they can pay out. So that means they can lose Holland, De Bruyne, uh, Ederson, Foden, Walker. Yeah, Ake is plays. He's a defender for them. Yeah, yeah, their team is crazy. Um, who else? I'm thinking of somebody else. No, I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, but so that's a big deal for them if they keep going over and they have to forfeit all these things, and then they can't get it taken care of. Like I don't really know how it's going to work because it says it's not being shown in public. It's going to be a private investigation and trial. Obviously the news will come out. Yeah. Yeah, if it's a points deduction, it'll be in the current season. So if they were found guilty in a future season, then point deductions will be applied then. So clearly, this is a very common thing for them. If they're already saying, "Yeah, and we're going to look at it next year too." So, um, and it's not translating either. So at least for Man City, they're like the most talked about team in the world because they have all those great players and they are still somehow not leading I don't understand it. I really don't. Yeah, yeah, they are really good, but if you just look at like paper, yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be a big thing and that's going to be big for a lot of other clubs too that are trying to get into Champions League because that's just world exposure, more money, more good players want to play for you if you're in Champions League because that's more exposure for them. They make more money. It all goes hand in hand and if you have to miss out on that, they could be looking a lot different in a couple years. I feel like they're not going to put the hammer down that hard
No, they
because
shouldn't.
I don't know.
All right, I think I just
It
fixed my
seems
audio.
like oh, give it a test. Somebody tell me if you can hear Jack now.
Test, test. 1 2 1 2.
Um, yeah, it kind of seems like they're like the darling child, especially right now because they have two of the most famous players. So I feel like they won't come down that hard on them. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I still don't know. Nobody's said anything.
Abigail said yes, barely.
Barely. Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. I can hear you as
Yeah, I
clear
can
as ever.
hear.
Like
I can hear.
maybe even a little bit louder than usual. And I don't know. I don't understand why they can't. But
Because I have to get really close into my mic.
yeah, maybe.
Is that better, chat?
If you want to finish out what you were saying, so I don't relay. I got the main part about how you're a huge Man City fan and you're upset. So the fans understand that. But
Man City deserves to be punished. The most extreme thing that can happen to them is they get kicked out of the BPL and get sent down, like to the lower, like Division 2. It's like BPL's D1, and then they have like subdivisions. It's not like AAA, but like kinda.
it's like Clemson, Alabama, Notre Dame, and then like Belmont Abbey.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
But that's like the worst
Chat.
thing that can happen to them.
Chat's all excited that they can hear you now.
I can't even see chat. I don't know what is happening with my computer.
Abigail gave a nice woohoo. Glad to have you back. So, yeah, that's a big thing. Obviously, that's kind of heating. Just Premier League in general is kind of heating up now, and Champions League too. So yeah, we'll be seeing it. We'll keep you updated on that.
We won't have an
Then-
update for that for a while.
No, I think it'll be like. I see. I don't know. It's weird that they say it would be points for this season, but they're not going to decide this in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I know the season doesn't end in 2 weeks, but you know what I'm saying. It's
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot that goes into it that they're not just gonna make a decision in the next couple weeks. But we'll have more on that. And Jack, if you're good, I was just gonna give a little quick baseball preview because spring training starts tomorrow, actually. Which I'm very excited about. I think it's going to be a great year for baseball. There's so much young talent everywhere, and I won't go too deep into it because obviously that'll come more when baseball starts. And baseball is it's different than other sports because they play 162 games. Like the Phillies weren't that far over 500 last year and made the World Series, so it's a lot different than football, right? Where you've got to win at least 11 games to have this year you had to win like 13 games to have a home game in the playoffs out of 17. So a lot different. But I love baseball. I'm really excited. So I'll give you I just went to the first MLB power ranking I've seen. Like I saw on there. And I'll start at 10 because it's really interesting. The Angels with Rendon, Trout, and Otani. Otani's obviously like he's incredible. I don't know how he can be so good at pitching and hitting at the same time. Like pitchers have never been good hitters.
That's why I like him
There
so
are
much.
cases. I know he's so cool.
Because he's a fucking pitcher and he just nukes the ball.
Yeah, he pitches and he DHs while he's pitching, and then when he's not pitching, he's just the designated hitter every day, except the day before he pitches, so you can have a little rest. But I mean, last year he had 34 home runs, and I think he had a sub-3 ERA for most of the year. Let me see if I can. He might even finish. I'm gonna try and.
What award? Did he win an award last year?
I don't think so. No. Because who won the AL MVP? Judge. Yeah, Judge had
Judge.
62 home runs. Yeah.
Hmm.
But people were saying Otani should have gotten it because, God, 34 home runs, 95 RBIs, and 11 stolen bases as a pitcher. That is crazy.
It's like my maid
I mean,
character in fucking MLB The Show.
yeah. I want. When does the new one come out? It's got to be pretty soon. I might play it this year.
There's a new PGA game that I had no idea existed.
EA Sports.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, that comes out in a few weeks. That looks really cool. I'd love to do like a stream playing that with you guys. That looks really cool. Um, yeah, Otani had a 2.3 ERA last year. He only gave up 43 earned runs the whole year. And on top of that, contributed 95 RBIs. Insane. I don't know how they're not good. Like, you have Trout, who people still say is the best player in baseball. I don't fully agree with that. I think Zach might fight me on that.
Mm.
But, it's hard to look at them and understand how they don't make the postseason. Yeah,
Well,
I
let's
don't know.
let's let's go into a little bit into why I don't think that I don't believe that there should be in the top 10 for power, and that's the preseason
I
rankings,
don't
not the.
either.
I don't
Yeah,
agree
it's
with that at
preseason.
all. Um, Anthony Rendon, I was pulling up his stats. He's played about a rough estimate about 160 games in the 3 years that he's been a Los Angeles Angel, coming off the World Series victory for the Nationals in 2019. And I know he's been injured and he hasn't been playing, but his stats haven't looked great. He's, you know, he's an older third baseman. He's not older, but he's not what he was. And they paid him a lot of money, and I think that those are the types of decisions that bite the Angels right where it hurts. You pay these guys all this much money. I remember in the past it was C.J. Wilson coming off the Rangers World Series losses, and I believe that they signed Josh Hamilton for a little while. Pujols, I can understand that one a little bit, but you ran him. I think he was making money until he was like 41. Obviously, it's Albert Pujols, but definitely not the same player he was in St. Louis when he came to L.A. The Dodgers can kind of get away with it a little more so, but I still think that they cultivate a little bit more talent than the Angels. I also want to talk about Tyler Anderson a little bit. He had a great year with the Dodgers last year. I think they signed him to a 1-year deal before the season started, and I'm a huge fan of that because it makes the players kind of play, that contract year. Um, and I think that he signed a 3-year deal with the Angels, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of predictors are thinking, okay, well, we've got a big three in Trout, Otani, and Rendon, and now you add Tyler Anderson on top of that. Maybe this is their year. And I'm not saying that it's not. They're definitely not going to win 100 games, and they're not a top 10 team. But I
Okay,
could
can I
see them.
preface this really quick? I accidentally clicked on top 10 lineups,
Oh,
which does include most of the top 10 teams. They're 13 in the power rankings, which is still,
oh, okay, okay.
yeah, I checked
Oh,
that. Still
oh,
a tiny bit high, but yeah, I wanted
yeah.
to, yeah, that's my bad.
Thank
I
you.
I didn't realize until I scrolled up. Um yeah, okay. But still
Okay.
13 is, yeah,
Yeah.
that's reasonable, but they
Yeah,
they
that's
underperform all the time.
they do. They underperform all the time. Going back to Tyler Anderson, almost a Cy Young year. Obviously, he didn't outperform teammate Julio Urias. 15-5, 2.57 ERA. I mean, the guy had a lot of good games. So, not necessarily as much as the Dodgers wanted in the postseason. I know he didn't get as much opportunity, but still, definitely a pretty good pickup for the Angels as well. I could see him maybe sneaking into the playoffs, but I mean, I know that Austin corrected me, but they're not a top 10 team. They're not a top 10 team. They get
Let me give
hot,
you
they might be able to. I think that that's what they did this year. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, I think that that's
no,
what they did. Did they not? Did they not get really hot at a specific part of the year?
but they were also really, really bad for a part of the year too, so it just kinda canceled out.
But the good
But
teams can figure that out, though, can they not?
yeah, yeah,
Like the Braves.
the Braves
I
did
mean,
not
we
start off
were
good, and then
no awful.
from I think from June 1st on, like, by far the best record in baseball, even better than the
Yeah,
Dodgers.
yeah, they
Um,
were. I think so.
so let me give you the actual top 10 from Bleacher Report. That
Do
was
it.
the lineups. Mariners at 10, uh, Guardians at 9, which I don't know about that. Blue Jays at 8. The Blue Jays are they've got some good young talent. They took Bassett from the Mets, but they're always just kind of good. Like I don't really have a problem with that. I don't think they're the eighth best team. And then here's where I really don't like this. It has the Dodgers at 7, and I know
Where do
they.
you put them?
I mean, like if I'm being real, the Dodgers are the best team every year. I know they lost a lot of players, but they've still got some really good ones. I you know Freeman, Betts. Uh, Losing Trey Turner is big because he's so consistent and always gives you the the average hitting. He gets some home runs, the base running, the RBIs. He's incredible. But they're still the Dodgers. They still have Freeman, Betts, Urias, um, the best farm system. Like they're going to be fine. I don't like it.
The
You
Braves have
don't.
the best farm system.
The Braves farm system is depleted now.
What do you mean?
Well, now they all play for the Braves, and they traded even more of them for Sean Murphy.
That's true, but I still think that there's definitely talent there. Are you serious? That's all we base it off of.
Right, and the Braves are always good at, they're not in the top 100 prospect rankings, but they always have guys that come up and do well. So,
Yeah, 100%.
um,
I
but
think they're the
so
best at cultivating talent.
yeah, it has the Phillies at 6, which I
I can.
understand, but Harper's gonna miss most of the season. And Harper, I think, is best player in baseball. So you can't miss the best player in baseball and then just say, yeah, they're better than the Dodgers with Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, uh, Arias, Turner. I know Turner's a little bit older, but he's still pretty good.
Justin Turner,
I
I don't know if he's going to be around for much longer.
Yeah, but he's been a contributor for a while. I don't think he's just going to fall off the face of the earth. Uh, yeah, and this says they added they bolstered their relief corps with Craig Kimbrell. Um,
Was my favorite closer growing up.
oh, absolutely, but that was a
That
while
was
ago now.
he was the man, dude. I swear he was the man. Back to the Dodgers.
I know you're a
Very
big Dodgers guy. I'm sorry I didn't mention Clayton Kershaw for you.
let's talk a little bit about Clayton Kershaw. The
I
man
knew it was coming.
is awesome. But I'm not really. That was not really the direction that I was going to go in. I think that the Dodgers did the right thing, actually, by not signing Trey Turner. I think that it was too long term, and I get that this guy is arguably the best shortstop in baseball, but I mean, they're paying him for a long time, and they're paying him for a lot of money. So you've already got two guys like that. What you're missing is old Clayton Kershaw. Obviously, you got Urias, but you know Kershaw's prime was a different animal, and I think that they're going to fall off a little bit. I don't see them getting anywhere near 111 games. And when playoff baseball started, I knew that they weren't going to be able to keep up because the pitching is not where it needed to be. and the hitting could only carry them for so long. Muncy's numbers went down. Bellinger never popped back up. I mean, it was almost inevitable. I think that the Dodgers play very well during the regular season. They usually always do. It just it's just a different game, and you need pitching. You need it really badly. And the one thing about Kershaw is he doesn't stay healthy. But other than that, he's awesome.
Kershaw's so sick, dude. Okay,
But they're
well,
gonna fall off a little bit. They're gonna fall off a little bit.
yeah, well, they have a tough division with the Padres, who are at 5, and I think, I mean, their lineup is really good. They've got Machado, Tatis, Soto, Bogarts, Cronenworth, and they have Darvish, Musgrove. Yeah, they're really good. Wow, but they also Tatis, in my opinion, is just a huge distraction. And remember last year, the got suspended, and his teammates are not happy about it. You hear sometimes they're like, "Yeah, we have our guys back," but they didn't. They said, "No, this is ridiculous. Like, you're supposed to be the best player, paying you a lot of money. You can't be an idiot." So I don't know how they're gonna mesh together. Adding Soto is obviously a big thing because he's
They got Bogarts
maybe,
too. Did you mention him?
yeah, I did. I don't. He was severely overpaid. I don't know why everybody wanted to start paying him so much money. I think it's because Dansby and Trey Turner got so much money, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of him. Machado is really good. Cronenworth is really good, and Soto, obviously, arguably like a top 3 player.
Bogarts is really good.
I don't. He's fine. We'll see what he does.
He went 307 last year. He's been consistent. You can't argue, and he's playing games.
Yeah,
Nah, he's a great
we'll
player. That's
we'll
huge
see
for
what
them.
we'll see what he does on a good team. um, it's different. It is different.
He's won a World Series.
He didn't come close last year.
Wait,
For
wait,
the
what? No, he
um,
won a World Series though.
I know he did. Uh, for the New York Yankees, they got Judge back, paid him a lot of money.
Uh,
They have Rodon to pitch with Cole. Cole missed a lot of the last season, didn't he? Or am I thinking of
yeah,
no? No, yeah, that's right. So this for me, it's kind of like the same thing as the Padres. Like, we'll see what happens because Stanton is getting older and doesn't. He's still good, but he's not the Stanton that,
he's not
like, the
hitting for
Marlins
average.
Stanton.
Yeah,
Yeah, like where he hit a home run like pretty much every at bat. It seemed like. Um, and I don't know. I don't know if I just don't like the Yankees. I don't hate the Yankees, but they just don't do it for me. Like, I know you have Judge who hit 62 home runs, but what's there to show from it? And then the other New York team is at 3, and I can tell you right now, I this is going to be biased, but I don't believe in the Mets at all. I think, cool, you've got an owner that wants to spend a lot of money. That's awesome. Maybe win something. There are teams that spend a lot less money than the Mets that have done a lot more than the Mets have done. They've got 2 great pitchers who are 38 and 39. So, we'll see how many games they play. Um, they got Diaz back, which is a big help. But I don't know. They just don't do it for me. They really don't. Maybe it's because their fans are super annoying because they love that their owner spends money, but uh yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, let's dive into the Mets a little bit.
Let's do
Talk
it.
about
I hate
the
the Mets.
top. You have the two best pitchers in baseball on the same team. This isn't.
Well, no.
Um. Yes,
Are you talking about this season or last season?
I'm talking about this season.
Wrong. Last season they did.
No, they didn't.
Uh, okay. Keep going.
Well, I mean that would be a whole hour discussion, but you can't argue that Verlander, a Cy Young, is. Oh, you're thinking of the Grom Scherzer. You're not arguing Verlander though.
No, Verlander is still awesome. Yeah, but DeGrom is the best pitcher in baseball. If he could stay healthy, that guy's awesome. He's the best pitcher in baseball. I just want you to agree with me on that.
I'm I'm sorry. I'm taking Max Scherzer. Let's put that in the chat. All right.
So
Yeah.
we've already done this. I
Yeah, we have
remember
already
doing
done
this.
this, but we have to do it just one more time. So the equation, or not the equation, the saying was if you have a wild card game, and this is obviously they have the new rules now, but postseason game, elimination game, who do you want starting in the postseason? Max Scherzer
DeGrom.
or Jacob DeGrom, and it was pretty close. But obviously, I'm taking Max Scherzer, and it's no.
Jack, who did you say?
When did we talk about this?
This was a
Over
while
summer.
ago.
This is over summer.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
So this was in person?
No.
No, I remember me and you were playing COD with Nick, and then Zach calls me because he's arguing with Stevie,
No, I'm arguing with
or
Brendan.
arguing with Brendan. So
I actually
you
did call
called,
Stevie.
yeah, you called Stevie. That's what you said.
But he's a Mets fan. He's gonna, even though they were on the same team, he's gonna say the guy that's been there longer too, to a certain extent. I'm not saying it's far off, but dude, I'm taking Scherzer. I mean, the guy is absolutely phenomenal.
So it's DeGrom.
I'm not.
I'm not taking
arguing
anything away from
again.
Scherzer.
I think Stevie's answer might change though too. He's now a Ranger, so I'm just saying maybe he's a little less biased.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll take Verlander now. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not, you know, Verlander's had some high years, dude. I'm telling you, and as far as a
He just won the
postseason
Cy
pitcher,
Young. I know.
I know. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but since, you know, okay, let's do since 2015. I'm not looking at Verlander's stats just yet, but I know that Scherzer's numbers are like way better. I mean, and much more consistent. I mean, yeah, you've got the years like for Verlander, like last year, like, well, you know, Scherzer won a Cy Young in that time span too. But still, I'm not taking anybody over Max Scherzer. I mean, the guy is the most competitive person on the mound, and he just comes up in the clutch moments.
Yeah, he was really good last year in that last weekend. I remember that.
Neither was DeGrom. Like DeGrom was in the same position. It's like, yeah, it's the same.
I
Same
mean,
thing.
because they
They-
played a good team, you know.
Yeah, they played the National League East winner.
Yep. Reigning 5-time actually. It's about to be 6 in a few months. I can guarantee that. I'm guaranteeing it right now. Because
Anyway.
that leads into. Okay, do you want?
No, keep going. No, you keep going. You keep
So-
going. I want to hear what you have to say.
Number 2, the
No,
Atlanta
oh,
Braves.
no. Oh,
Or
I
you wanna
thought you
keep-
were gonna. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say something else. That's why.
I
Oh, you were gonna transition. No,
I was
wasn't
just gonna
done
keep.
yet.
No, if you want to keep going on the Mets, I'll tell you that Alonso is great. I'm not the biggest Lindor fan.
I am.
Um,
He's a great player.
yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
I said Scherzer.
Did you find the text? That is crazy. I wonder if I can find it too. I definitely picked DeGrom though.
Yeah, I
You
know that
picked
you picked.
DeGrom. Me and Zach were on the same page.
Yes, let's go, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Me and Jack, dude. As long as it's not Notre Dame football, we are on the same.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I found it. Yeah, and then Nick picked John Smoltz. Um,
Nick had
my
to look
dad
up who
said
DeGrom was.
Scherzer. uh, the last time I saw Nick, he said, yeah, we were at Moe's and he said something about like Smolty's back this year.
He was definitely just kidding then. They had to
Yeah,
be.
he was, but that's funny. I'm trying to see if so I don't know if we ever got like a full tally up.
Me and Brendan were close, but it got a little high actually.
Okay. Well,
The guy hasn't played a full season since 2019.
that's not what I said. I just said he's
I
better.
know, but still, and the postseason, he has nowhere near the experience.
Still better.
There's no way. All right, but anyway, all right, let's go back to the actual Mets team. DeGrom is not a Met anymore. I think that Scherzer and Verlander each will not be able to give you 30 games starting in the regular season. I don't think that that's what they paid for. I think that they want that. Obviously, they're not avoiding that, but with the bats and they've got the best closer in baseball. I don't think that they expect them to pitch 30 games, and I don't think that they're going to pitch 30 games each. So I don't think that they'll win the division because of that. They'll be a wild card team. Um, it'll be a little
I
bit
don't.
different. It'll be a little bit
They're not.
different for them.
They're not going to make the postseason.
Now you are you're being Skip right now. Like you're just being Skip right now. But
Let's put some
yeah.
dew on it.
Yeah, we'll put some do that the Mets make the playoffs. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do
Let's
that.
do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Four cases.
4 cases of dew. Okay.
Four
Well,
cases of
both
dew.
of you still owe me some dew. I don't really like Mountain Dew actually, but
Yeah, I know. Nobody. Well, I'm not saying nobody likes. I'm not gonna drink a case of Mountain Dew in a night. It's supposed to be
yeah,
an undisputed thing.
I know. I'm just saying maybe we can have our own thing.
Okay, let's do it. All right, you come up with it. Right now.
Let's do a case of Dr. Pepper.
Dude, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper right now.
I drink Dr. Pepper in my sleep.
I think Jack has something else in when he sleeps.
Four Loco.
Yeah, no, not that.
Okay, well, are you done with the Mets?
Yeah, I
Jack,
am.
talk about how much you hate the Mets for a second, just so we can all establish that Zach also hates the Mets.
I do. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you that they're not gonna be in the playoffs.
I'm telling you, they're not gonna be.
So, I'm not a big baseball guy, but
I'm clearly know who's better, Jacob or DeGrom or
Scherzer. Yeah.
So you have a good opinion, Jack.
I'm a big sports guy, so I pay attention to all sports. If I had to rank the worst fan bases, it would be Georgia, the Mets, Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State's got to be in there.
You say Georgia like as a whole, the state, or football?
Yeah, I want
Georgia
a wall
football.
around Georgia, like the state.
Nah,
No,
I'm gonna have
football.
to disagree with you there.
Name me
Wait,
one Georgia
oh.
football fan you like.
Oh wait. Oh, so first off, let's get. I misunderstood you. So you're saying not Georgia, the whole teams. You're saying just Georgia
Just
football.
Georgia, yeah.
Just the football. So not
And
like the
if you want to
Braves
include
or
the
the
Falcons,
Falcons.
go for it.
Oh yeah, you're a Panthers
I
fan.
don't think Falcons fans are that
Yeah,
bad.
Falcons fans are not that bad.
Well, I just hate them because I'm a Panthers fan.
Yeah, but Falcons fans have nothing to say. So I mean,
It's true.
No, I don't mind Falcons fans.
yeah,
I'm
Falcons fans, whatever.
not a huge Saints fan.
No, I'm
I
not.
like the
Saints
chant.
fans are annoying.
Yeah, I like the chants, but if there's a Saints fan at a Panthers game, we're not speaking.
But so when I was little, I would go to Jersey when my aunt and uncle lived there for like months in the summer, and in Belmar it was pretty even. It was either, you know, the Jets or the Giants or the Yankees or the Mets. And I was on that Yankees side kind of, so I watched like Jeter,
Teixeira.
Mark Teixeira. He's up, he's all time for me. He's one of my favorite players. And who? It was I think he played center field.
Curtis Granderson.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, wait, say the name?
Curtis Granderson. He played for the Tigers and then he went to
No.
the Yankees.
It's someone else I'm thinking of.
Okay, Brett Gardner. It's not center field, but
Yeah.
he's not center field though.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm
Shoot
just
me.
saying. It's fine. Sorry. Left field.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But we were on the beach one day, and
With Brett Gardner.
yeah, with Brett Gardner. And someone I was with was wearing a Yankees like shirt or a hat or something, and this big group of like, I want to say they were in college at the time. They were like just came over and just like started throwing sand at him and like kicking his towel all over the place just because he was in like Yankee. And as a kid, I was like, what the fuck's going on? But like looking back on it now, I'm like, okay, that makes so much sense.
The Mets are just so bad all around. Terrible people, terrible players. Yeah, so we all hate the Mets.
If you're from Georgia, though, I think you're on Jack McFadden's list. I mean, he doesn't like the Falcons. He doesn't like the Bulldogs. I don't know. I can kind of understand it a little bit. He is a Panthers fan. Notre Dame sometimes they don't play it. They definitely don't play every year, but they play in some pretty big battles, do they not, Jack?
Between the
George.
hedges.
Oh yeah, and that one kid said that
I didn't.
Georgia doesn't.
I wasn't paying attention. What'd you say?
Georgia and Notre Dame, they don't play every year, but they've got some decent history, do they not?
I'm sure, like before we were alive, yeah, but recently, no. That one game in
Yeah,
2019
yeah.
when who was the quarterback? Oh, I hated him.
Jake Fromm.
Yeah, where's he now?
I
Couldn't
think
tell you.
Josh Allen's backup, actually.
No, Allen's backup's fucking Case Keenum.
Oh, right. Yeah, where did Jake Fromm go?
Who cares? But that Notre Dame should have won that game. But we won't get on that topic.
No, they don't.
Move on?
They don't have that many wins. They've only got 3 wins since 1981. I guess there were still big games. I mean, 2 big teams going at it. You know what I mean? I didn't know the whole history, but still. Go ahead, Austin. Sorry.
Let's move on to the best fan base in baseball. Best team. that actually on multiple simulations has the highest percent chance to win the World Series. I think at 14.9%. The Atlanta Braves. I mean, just a stacked lineup. You lose Dansby Swanson, but I think Grissom's going to be good. Washington's been talking a lot about Grissom. He's making me excited, so I think Grissom's going to be good. Albies is back from injury. Acuna is going to be fully healthy. Soroka might come back. I mean, you trade for a top 3 catcher. You've got
I haven't seen it. I'm not. Go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
he's very good.
He is very good. Top 3 is. I don't know. It's hard to say top 3 though for now, but he's really good. He's up there.
You've got Matt Olson and Austin Riley on the corners of the infield who are pretty much going to give you 35 home runs, 100 RBIs every year. And both of them had some of the struggles last year. Olson had a really rough couple months. And then Riley had a baby, so that kind of threw him off for a little bit. But both still had good years. You've got Albies back healthy. And Albies isn't like a top 15 player in baseball, but he's very consistent. He's good for the team. He's got a good personality. The players love him. He's just a good player to have.
He's up there.
Oh, he's great. He's good. Yeah.
He gets on. He steals bases.
Yeah,
I think that's how he got injured. I think that's how he got injured, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
I love him. And then you got
Michael Harris.
Go to the outfield. Michael Harris, who was a rookie last year.
Rookie of the year.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Crazy. Acuna and Wright, who has the potential to be the best player in baseball if he can put it all together. I think he's going to have a 40-40 year this year.
Acuna is the best player in baseball.
I think talent-wise he is, but he hasn't, the injury really set him back. And then left field is an actual disaster. Like the left fielder's really bad. It's really bad. I don't know how Rosario got hot for a little bit, and they had to pay him, right? He's the World Series MVP, but he's just not that great.
But he also got injured too. He also got injured.
Well, he had the eye thing.
Yeah, the eye.
So we'll see this year. Ozuna. I mean, I'll chip in if the Braves put out like a GoFundMe to buy him out. I would chip in. I'll send him 100 right now to get rid of Ozuna. Yeah, I don't like Ozuna. But so, we talked about how they traded for Sean Murphy. Now that means him and d'Arnaud can rotate, stay fresh. One can DH. That's big.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's big for your catcher because catchers, they've got a tough job sitting back there like that.
And I think d'Arnaud's getting a little bit up in age, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I don't think that they were super high on Contreras as much as I thought that they were going to be. I think he's a Brewer now.
And he did play great last year.
But
that was the only time we've seen it. So I don't mind.
He's not Sean Murphy, though.
I don't mind trading him while he's a hot commodity, So you've got that, and then you go to pitching. So you've got the Max Fried, who has the 3rd highest odds for Cy Young right now, which is probably a little bit high.
Wait,
I think he's going to have a very good year.
Third highest, you said?
Yeah. I think I saw that on Twitter, I believe. You've got Spencer Strider, who was 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting, who is a hard-throwing strikeout machine. You've got
56-year-old Charlie Morton.
Yeah, Charlie Morton. That's who I was trying to think of as the third guy. And he didn't do great last year, but he's not terrible. Kyle Wright. I don't know how I forgot about him. Kyle Wright had the most wins in baseball last year. He was incredible. And I saw something. He's fully healthy now. He feels great. He's gonna have a good year. Um, yeah, that fifth rotation spot though is interesting because you've got Anderson, who was great in the postseason, and then last year just couldn't get it together, and Bryce Elder, who came up for a few games, did really well. Figuring out that fifth rotation spot is going to be tough. Soroka finally came back fully healthy, like strained his something the other day. I would love if he could get healthy again because he was incredible in that shortened 2020 season. But I don't know if we can really count on that as Braves fans. Um, Relief pitching, Mentor had a great year. Iglesias is going to be a good closer. Yeah.
Spencer Strider is 24 years old. There's no way.
Yeah. Spencer Strider went to Clemson.
What?
Yeah. He played third base and pitcher at Clemson. Who else am I feel like I'm missing somebody.
On the rotation.
No, not on the rotation. I've got everybody in the rotation. I'm thinking about maybe bullpen. Is Matzek? Matzek's gonna miss the whole year, isn't he?
Dennis Santana.
Did they just trade for him? Yeah.
Kirby Yates.
Kirby Yates has always been a guy that's like Soroka. If he can stay healthy, he'll be great, but he hasn't been healthy in a while.
Michael Tonkin.
Dude,
who the fuck are these people? Darius Vines.
Yeah, next.
Rodri Munoz. He's 22 years old. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think he's good actually. I think he's gonna play this year. I've read about him.
Lucas Lutke?
No idea.
He's from the Yankees.
You know who we should bring back? Will Smith.
No.
Oh, do we still have Odorizzi?
Chavez played well. No,
Chavez is good, but Chavez is really old.
Yeah, he's really old. That's why I didn't say him yet or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't we acquire him from Houston?
Yeah, we traded Will Smith for Odorizzi, and I don't want to see Odorizzi pitch in a
No,
Braves
he's a
uniform ever
Ranger. Yeah,
again.
he's a Ranger.
Thank God.
That's what it was. That's right. He
I
signed
could
with the
do
Ranger.
without Odorizzi pitching on Wednesday afternoons this year. Jesus.
Everybody was hurt. He actually had some good games.
Oh
He
yeah,
wasn't awful. He
He was
not
pretty
awful.
he was pretty bad.
We lose our closer. I'm kind of okay with that, actually. Even though
I am
think
okay with
he'll-
that too.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, actually.
He was just like Will Smith. I mean, like, you don't know what's going to happen in the ninth inning. He wasn't as bad as Will Smith, but
No. I
he's
mean, he
just
struggled there for a little while, but still, I mean, 35 and I don't know. It's not that I didn't expect good things from him. I just didn't. I still didn't think that it was going to be his best season yet or anything.
you think if he lost a couple pounds in that midsection, he could maybe get his fastball a little lower in the zone?
No, I think that's what gives him his power. 6'5", 265. I mean, he's a tank.
I know. I'm just saying, like, maybe his belly's in the way, so he can't release it late enough. So he just throws it high, and then it's 3-1 every time. Yeah, we'll be seeing you, Kenley Jansen.
He is a Red Sox. Forgot about that.
Yep,
actually.
he is. Yeah. So basically, the big takeaway is the Braves are just loaded, and
Who
I don't.
is-
They might not.
Go ahead. No,
What?
sorry. Go ahead.
They
Who's
might not.
power ranking 1?
The Astros, obviously.
Oh, no way.
So I kind of thought the Braves would be, and I've seen it in a couple things, but the one I'm looking at right now, Bleacher Report, Astros.
I didn't
Um,
think that the Braves would be 1. I think that they have a great chance at winning, but I still don't think that they're 1. Like, as far for a power ranking, like, I did not think that they were going to be 1. I just
well,
didn't.
power ranking, especially before the season, is usually just like the best team on paper. You know.
Well, yeah, but the Houston just lost their best pitcher.
I know, but the Garcia's good. Urquidy's good.
Yeah, but McCullers didn't have the best year, did he? No, I don't. I don't think he. I think he was injured. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
but he's
injured.
good.
Oh yeah, I know he's good, but he's not Verlander good. And
Well,
I
yeah.
think that they pitched. I remember them pitching. Gosh Almighty, Valdez a lot in the World Series. Like he pitched a lot. And
Yeah,
he had a
I
great
think
year.
he
He
did
had a
pretty
great
good.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he did. He had a great year. I don't know. That's a big deal to me. You know, now you want to talk about somebody who cultivates talent is the Astros. I mean, Jeremy Pena, he came, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but he's a great player. They developed Altuve. Um, they've got some good.
I mean, it must be easy when you cheat. So,
Yeah, it must be.
anyway, I mean, everybody can hit good when you know what pitch is coming. Makes it a lot easier. Yeah, I hate the Astros too. Um, but they are good. They're really good.
They are a very good team. Solid squad.
Yeah, second best team in baseball.
Definitely.
It's gonna be a fun baseball year.
I don't think they'll make the World Series. No, I don't.
Okay, who do you think's gonna make the World Series? Let's give a preseason World Series prediction.
I like that. I like that. I was about to go into that a
Yeah,
little bit.
and then we can wrap up because we've been going for 2 hours now.
I think it's been a great episode.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this. I like that we didn't talk about football. Um,
Which is
you know,
fine.
no, I like it. We're getting into stuff that we aren't as comfortable talking about, so it makes us better, and it's better for the future because obviously we can't talk about. We can implement some XFL talk next week
No.
in spring football league. But yeah, okay, Jack, who's gonna make the World Series and who's gonna win?
As in like, who's gonna like both teams?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um. Mm, I don't fucking. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll go with the. Well, for one, I think it's going to be the Braves. But who they play,
choice.
I don't
Oh.
know. What was it last year? Phillies and Astros?
Astros.
Phillies, yeah.
Uh,
Dude, there are so many good teams in the NL. Holy crap.
I know it's way different than the AL. I feel like you don't want to choose Astros because that's just like what you do. 'Cause that's the easy one. But then after that,
So
it's
the-
like
Okay. You think it's Braves versus the Astros? No, it's Braves versus.
I mean, that sounds pretty reasonable actually. But I just don't want to say the Astros because that's boring.
Yeah,
Astros
that's what
make
I
it
was
every single
thinking.
year.
Braves versus fucking the Yankees? Or is
That's
that
pretty reasonable.
nuts?
No, that's not nuts. The Yankees are good.
I just don't know because it's either going to be out of the AL, it's going to be the Yankees or the Astros, right?
Yeah, I think probably.
Because every other good team's in the fucking NL.
Yeah, they're all in the National League. Like the NL East and West
They're loaded.
are way better than any other division.
I'll go Yankees, Braves.
Are Braves are winning or?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, Braves all the way.
Zach?
I actually want you to go first, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I have a surprise answer.
I hope I steal it from me. The Braves are going to beat the Mariners in the World Series.
The Braves are going to beat the Mariners in the World Series.
Yeah. Felix Hernandez is coming back next year.
Oh, yeah?
And Ichiro. They're both back.
Ichiro. I remember that dude.
Yeah.
That little guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually like what y'all had to say. I actually want to go over it. And I think that y'all are going to be shocked with what I have to say. I feel like Austin saying this, because it is going to come as a shock. The St. Louis Cardinals, because of the new rules, did not have a good season. They were a really great team. They actually played really well against the Braves last year, and they ran into a hot Philly team. And I don't think that the break really helped them. If you know anything about baseball and you watched, gosh almighty, I think it was, what was the 2014 World Series? I know that this is off, it's not really off topic, but I mean,
Pretty off topic.
No, hang on. Nope, it's 12. Yeah, sorry, 2012 World Series. Sorry.
Could just give us your two teams.
The Giants swept the. I'm trying to explain some of it so that people understand. So the break really messed them up. If you go back through history, like breaks are not always the best thing.
Yeah, it messed the Braves up too. This past season.
Oh, it definitely did. 100%. It definitely did. I'm gonna go Cardinals, Blue Jays.
Okay.
Cardinals they obtained Contreras. They've got arguably two of the best infielders in baseball. I think Nolan Arenado is slept on. Tyler O'Neill in the outfield. Their pitching is okay. They've got a vet in Adam Wainwright. Montgomery's going to play a little bit better this year. I think the Cardinals are going to go back to the World Series, and I think the Blue Jays, I think Gossman will play pretty well this year. It's harder to say in the AL with pitching. Bassett was a good, okay sign, and their lineup is underrated, vastly underrated. So
yeah, well, Vladdy is pretty crazy. So
is George Springer.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm thinking about like big names like Vladdy. Vladdy.
They signed Brandon Belt. He didn't have a good year last year. He hadn't had a good year, but still, I mean, he's on the team. He's getting older, but still, I got Blue Jays, Cardinals.
That's a good pick. Two teams probably a lot of people aren't thinking of right off the top of their heads, but it's reasonable to say.
Cardinals are going to win.
Okay. So, Braves, Cardinals.
Yeah.
Remember the Cardinals game, 2019 wild card?
That was Ozuna was on the Cardinals at the time, I think.
Yeah. That's one of the worst games I've ever seen. Wasn't the infield fly rule against the Cardinals as well?
What'd you say? Sorry?
The infield fly, that was against the Cardinals?
I can't really remember. Yeah, I can't really remember. I'm sorry.
Let me look it up, and we'll end with that.
All I remember is game 2 came, and I think that he didn't start.
Yeah, it was against the Cardinals.
No, wow.
So I hate the Cardinals too.
Yeah, that was it right here.
What are you even looking at? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, wow, I'm way off with this. I do remember game 5 was absolutely atrocious, but still, they had a really good team.
Yeah,
They did have a really good team.
brutal.
Fulte pitched game 5.
Yeah, Faulty.
10 runs in the first inning.
Yeah.
Game
Oh, I
5.
remember it. Yeah, that was the last of Faulty. Yeah, yeah. Zach, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we've been doing this for 2 hours and 11 minutes, so it's time to let our viewers go take a nap. You know.
Yeah, I kind of got to get to bed too. I
Yeah,
could do
I
this
got a
all
busy day
night.
tomorrow. I could too. We're going. We're talking about stuff that doesn't matter anymore. Like the 2019 wild card series. That doesn't matter right now. But yeah, thanks for sticking around for so long. I know that was a lot. Um, Hopefully you liked the different variety of stuff we went into compared to usual. And we'll keep doing it. Keep figuring stuff out to talk about, and trying to be as engaged with you guys as possible. So, yeah, thanks.